So you didn't watch 7 and 8?
No. Did I miss anything special?
I mean, we'll talk about it. We're gonna go in order. We'll start 6, 7, and 8 and just talk about each one and what happened and what we took from it and everything. But I will say watching 6, 7, and 8 back to back helped me enjoy it more. So I think for this particular show, waiting week to week, I wasn't like, oh God, I can't wait till next week. So I think it would have been better to just binge it all at once. For me.
It'd have been better as a movie, you think?
That, or like how Netflix gives it to you all at once. If they would have just released all 8 episodes, then I could have just watched it and it would have been quick because they were 30-minute episodes. But I think the week to week thing was just like, I don't care enough about it. But watching 6, 7, and 8 back to back to back, I was actually looking forward to just like getting through it, like waiting for the next
getting through it. I honestly, I watched them bi-weekly. I watched them when they came out, so I don't remember what happened in 6 and 7.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it. 6 and 7. So 6, because we went on we were all gone for our trips, so we skipped that one. And then since we didn't do 7 when we were supposed to, we were going to do 6 and 7 together. I was just like, I'm just going to wait and watch all 3 of them before this meeting, so that way they were fresh in my mind. But I did take notes on each of them. So episode 6, we'll start with that one first. That one was,
what color you think you are, Sean?
Honey brown.
Sean, come over here, baby. See, you got 3 in one hand and 4 in the other.
I don't think his blackness is attached to how he holds his dominance.
Today's the day, Ash. What are we gonna tell our son?
Your dad is...
Ashley is in the woods and she's talking to Miles, like the ghost of Miles. And
is that when they're just walking and talking for hella long?
Yeah, she's smoking weed in the woods and talking to him. And then also we had the conversation with the neighbors because the mom was asking Sean if he watched Black movies.
Oh, I think that shit was funny.
So
yeah, I do like that part.
That episode was my favorite out of the whole series. I really like that because that conversation happens. Like
it happens a lot.
Their whole like, you're not Black if this or you're not Black if that.
Yeah.
So, hearing all of the different views from each of them, I thought was very interesting. And what's his name? The guy that's on house arrest.
Yeah.
Like his perspective was really like.
It was just funny how they were breaking it down because it's stupid, but it's what we do. It's like the first thing that comes to mind when you be like, I haven't seen this movie. Yeah, you're not Black.
Yeah.
It's like, how the fuck does that equate?
But then you can get upset like, yeah, that's a white writer. When he kept on saying like all that, like runnings or whatever it was, white writer.
But I lost it and I had to pause it because he said the undisputed Black film was Meteor Man.
And it is.
I fell out. I was like,
whoa. Once again, Del Tasha, I have to agree with you. Like this was, I would say, one of my favorite episodes of the whole season because, and going back to the character we all like, the guy that's on house arrest,
right?
Like that section, I was more interested in. Like when they went to Ashley and her thinking about talking to Miles, I was kind of like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
It just kind of dragged. Like I don't know. It's like that. It feels like some of these scenes just go for too long. Like they did that whole their storyline was just like why? Mm-hmm. It was like, why? I don't think we need that much of their background.
And I think the whole going too long, it depends on what it is because the whole Black conversation went on long, but I was in it. Like
it's because it was interesting.
Yeah.
Like I said, so with them walking in the woods, it's all reminiscent. It's like how many times did we got to hear about you guys being in love when you were young? We got that already. Uh-huh. So that's why it seemed like it was dragging on. But when they're doing a Black movie, it's like you said, it's something we really do in real life. Mm-hmm. Like you argue about that shit.
Yeah, because you haven't seen anything or because you don't eat a certain thing. It's like, oh, then you ain't Black. But when Trish, when the sister came in and then she got into the conversation and they were having the whole talk about, because what is his name? The guy that's on house arrest. He was talking about, he was, did he say he grew up in Piedmont? Like he was raised in Piedmont. His parents got along, like all of these pluses, but yet he still went to jail. And she was basically saying like, well, you became Black when you went to prison.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound good.
It don't make sense.
That's not right. But like they had the little boy eat hot Cheetos and he couldn't take it. And they were like, yep.
No, okay, so that was a little extreme. So I'm like, your mama didn't give you hot Cheetos. It's not like they were that removed from the area.
Yeah.
They were still in Oakland, but maybe in a better part. But it's like he never had hot Cheetos. Come on. Come on.
What was it? What cracked me up was at the end when he was watching Paddington and he was comparing it to the Black experience. I felt like he was like, what did he say? He was like, I hate making marmalade too, or I hate marmalade. So yeah. Episode 6 was definitely my favorite, but with Ashley and Miles in the woods, you know, when they finally have the blow up and she's basically having the back and forth that she anticipates or that she wants to have. And he said something about you feel guilty. And I'm still on that whole. I told Katrina in that moment, I was like, that's what Tasha was talking about. He took the fall for her. That's what I'm thinking, but they still kind of jumping to the end, never confirmed it. So
I think they will in the next season. They're clearly trying to set up a new season.
Yeah, I think.
But right when he said that, I told Katrina, I said, that's what she was talking about. I was like, that's what Tasha's been saying. Like, I think he took the blame. And then right when he said that, I was like, oh, he took the blame for it.
Yeah. So that made me think that too, but I was like, they're still not saying that was.
They won't just say it.
So let's see. And then when she talked to, because that was the same episode that night where the prisoners were dancing. You know, they had the whole dancing. The prisoners were dancing, and then she talked to Sean and told him that he did. What did she say? He tried to do the right thing at a really bad time. Mm-hmm. So. Take from that whatever you will, but you didn't like the prison. It got to the point for me. I mean, I never really tripped off the dancers, but it got to a point where I was like, okay, this is annoying, with the exception of one scene, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, with the exception of that.
Okay.
But the other ones, like I said, I'm not against it, but it's like it's for so long. And then the guy with the dreads, he does the same fucking pop lock move. Over and over. Yeah. He does that, then he starts ticking. Like you gotta keep doing. I get it. You're a good dance. I get it. But it just seems like it just dragged. Mm-hmm. Like she's doing it's from the other house. You're dancing all the way to this house. You're dancing all the way up the stairs. And then they're sitting down to watch the story. It was like, okay.
She's reading and they're just listening. Like,
yeah, just tell him he's in jail. Shit. Like damn.
So Josh, since this was the only episode you watched, what input do you want to put on this episode?
Yeah, like I said, I agree with you before. This was one of my favorite episodes because like when what's her name? Told you Margot, my person I took a class with, and like my favorite character on the show. Mm-hmm. When they all started talking about like Meteor Man, 5 Heartbeats, Cool Runnings, like. Of course, that reminds us of us because we talked about movies.
Yeah.
The wig was on there too. Yeah.
Right when he said Meteor Man, I was like, nobody shows love to Meteor Man.
Lamar, and when they said 5 Heartbeats, that's Tasha. And they said Cool Runnings, like, okay, that's me. All right. Thanks a lot for that.
How heartbroken Janelle got when he said about the 5 Heartbeats that it wasn't based on a real.
Oh, she said, wait, you trying to tell me that? No, that's a real life thing. There are black people that really think they're a group. You have to explain it. You did too?
Yeah, I didn't know it was based off of, the
other
stories,
people.
But I thought the 5 Heartbeats were a legit singing group.
So if you watch the whole 5 Heartbeats movie, during the credits, they show the real group.
Yeah, so
but that kind of reminded me of her reaction is kind of when I forgot who told in Fresh Prince when she's like, how did you feel when you found out Shaft wasn't a real person? He's like, what do you mean? Like I forgot. Like he was all trying to tell his nephew that Santa Claus ain't real.
Yeah.
Again, he thought Shaft was a real person. I don't know if that actually happened in real life, but I just thought that just reminded me.
Yeah. So yeah, so that was basically, I cracked up with the Meteor Man thing because I was like, Lamar put that on his top 5 superhero pick. So
because it's the only true, besides Blank Man, it's the only true black superhero movie.
Black Rider.
When he's all no Blade, no Black Panther. I don't even know. Did he say Spawn? I don't know, but he's all talking about all these like
I don't remember if he said Spawn or not.
Spawn don't really count. Like when you think about it, it's Blade and Black Panther. Those are really successful films. Spawn was cool, but it wasn't. I don't think it was a financial success.
It was for its time.
Yeah. You got to be there at the theater to see it. It doesn't hold up.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the whole table scene with the Black conversation was by far my favorite. And when they were talking about playing bones and spades, and Janelle was like, I don't know how to play either of those.
Yeah.
So it's like there's that expectation that they put.
You ain't Black.
Yeah. But then there's a large group of Black folks that just based on how they were brought up, don't fall under that. So it's kind of hard to believe for a lot of people.
And the funny thing is, when you said he was from Antioch, a lot of people assumed Antioch was like a suburb.
Oh, really?
Like a time ago. So it was like Antioch was like an upper thing. So I think he was kind of speaking for himself too when he was saying that. Like how everybody assumes he's not Black because of where he's from, or not even where it's situational.
Yeah, because one thing that they were saying, and I wrote down, your Blackness is based on how the world sees you versus who you are.
Right.
So you can be, just visually, like definitely, obviously Black, but you don't know where that person was brought up or what their background is. So they could be like proper and educated and all that stuff, but you're only seeing what's in front of your face. It is funny because
to America, you Black. To America, you Black, but to Black people, you ain't Black, which is weird as fuck. It's weird as fuck.
So yeah.
If you ain't seen 5 Heartbeats, you ain't Black.
Right. Or the Wiz.
It don't make no sense. Put your hand down.
But it was funny though at the end when she was like, "It's the Black Wizard of Oz," and he was like, "Oh yeah, ease on down the road." And she was like, "Don't play me like I've shown my kid the Wiz."
Yeah. What she said? She called it something else because she was like, I don't know what she said. Oh, did she tell him that? She was like, the Black Wizard of Oz. And he was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and then that's when he responded to "Ease on down the road."
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, okay, it's about how Mom asked him the question. That's where the problem was.
Yeah.
About how she asked. So that's episode 6. So episode 7, it was
all right, hands on glass, let's go. All right. Come on.
Oh no, not you. That's just for us. Ash, can you grab him?
You have to find ways to stay connected. A naked photo shoot.
My titties ain't safe on general Wi-Fi.
Why do you want to quit?
I'm starting my own business.
What?
So Sean knows that his dad is in prison. So he's basically dealing with that. So they try to like take him bowling and have, play games with him and stuff because he's in this funk because he's down and depressed. So it's basically that storyline, but also Trish is working on quitting the strip club and
getting her own business.
Kinky, or what did she call it? A business that has to do with like niche kinks, like a kink service.
Yeah.
Because her homegirl was telling her about all these guys that will pay her to do all this weird stuff.
Yeah. She was like, dude wanted to drink her bathwater or some random shit.
Yeah. Something about toenails. So it was like,
it was weird as fuck.
Let's start a service that has to do with these people and their kinks and get paid off of it.
Cause what was she like? She was like, he want to drink my bathwater for $10,000. I was like, hell no. Nah. She was like, what the fuck? Why? She was mad that she said no.
Yeah, I don't know if it was it drink or sit in her bath, whatever it was, something to do with her bathwater.
Something with the bathwater. But she was like, I was like, hell no. No, she said like 10,000. She was like, I was like, hell no. She was like, what?
Yeah, and something with the toenails was like a couple thousand. So it was just like,
yeah.
So they work on trying to, start their business up. They run into Cuddy from the bank. So there was that whole exchange about why he didn't give her the loan because she came in hot. She came in at 100.
Yeah.
And was basically telling her, like, you don't need a building for your business. You just need to run a business. So she takes.
He's like, I fucked with the idea. I just don't fuck with you. Fucked me up when you said building. I was just like, you could have just said that, Cuddy. Yeah. Stop checking out the Asian girl. Mm-hmm. That was annoying me too. It was like, speak to her or don't speak. What are you doing?
Yeah, so that's nothing really happens in the episode besides those things. So this was kind of just like a lead up to completing the show. So now Sean knows his dad's in prison. He's kind of dealt with it. He opens back up because
didn't he have a nightmare too?
He had a vision when he was bowling of the police officer.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Because Ashley took him to visit at the prison or the jail. And then there was this whole to-do because there was an argument between this other inmate and his visitor. So Sean witnessed his dad being like, pushed out of the visiting. So he has a vision of a guard like staring him down and being all threatening and stuff. So he deals with all that. But at the end of the episode, he opens up because what is his name? I keep calling him the guy that's on
call him the guy on house arrest. I can't think of his fucking name.
I wrote it down.
H&A. Okay.
It's gonna bother me. But so he starts like
no. Before that, they were doing the wobble. So that they're all doing the wobble in the living room, and he's trying to like make the little boy do it, but the little boy's like mad, so he like kicked him.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? But he turned it into like a playing thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a little bonding moment. So I guess that goes back to what Tasha was saying too. It's about raising this little black boy without his father and having her community around her because she doesn't know how to deal with it. Because I guess that was a big deal to her to see that interaction.
Yeah, because you see her looking like, and I'm wondering like, is she gonna reprimand him? Like, is she?
That's what I thought she was gonna do.
So it was kind of cool to see him kind of like not make a big deal about it and just start like play fighting and wrestling with him, and he pretends like he's gonna put him in the oven and cook him.
Yeah, yeah.
So that brings Sean out of his funk.
Right. Oh. It's like that male energy because there's all women around him, but when he does that, it's back to the male energy because he kind of just like. Instead of they was about to overreact, like you kicked him, but he kind of turned it into a game. So it was like, oh, I can't just kick him and he ain't gonna do nothing about it.
Yeah. So and his name is Earl. Earl is his name. So we find out in this episode that you get visitation rights if you're married, because Miles is getting ready to be shipped off to San Quentin, which is a prison. So right now he's in a jail that's being transferred to a prison, which would make it harder for visitation or something. So his mom finds out that there's a way to go around it. If you're married, then you get a 48-hour visitation
in a little house.
In a little house on the prison grounds.
Right.
So that leads up to episode 8, which
is my favorite episode.
Okay. It was a good episode. It was a good episode.
It was my favorite episode.
This isn't at all how I imagined my wedding day. I mean, honestly, I never really imagined it. But I guess I thought it would be somewhere beautiful. And my mom would be there. And the worst thing that I would have to worry about is my period or something. We tried it a few times. First we said, not until after Sean was born. Then my mom got sick, so we got the tattoos. Saved money. We wanted to do it the movie way until we were better off. We almost were.
They have this whole plan to go to the prison or to the jail, so that way Ashley and Miles can get married, even though Miles doesn't know that he proposed.
Yeah, he doesn't know that he's getting married.
Yeah, he doesn't know the ring has been found or whatever. So the whole family just gathers together, gets dressed up and everything, and goes to the jail. But all of these things are happening to try to prevent it from happening. So the mom has an expired driver's license, so she has to go back home to get her passport. A family friend or uncle.
That family friend, I thought was going to end up being his real dad. And maybe they haven't said that yet.
Miles'
dad? Miles' dad. Because of what she said, she was like, yeah, I've known him since forever. We went to the protest, we did this. Because when they were calling him uncle, but then she was like, he's my really close friend. She didn't say he was like her brother.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. But so the actor we're talking about, Josh, he's from Dodgeball and Office Space, and
he's from Get Out.
What part is he in Dodgeball?
He was the guy that was married to the mail order bride.
The dork one.
Oh, Stephen Root.
Stephen Root. Yeah. I wanted to say Stephen Ray, but Stephen Root. Yeah. So he plays the uncle friend who's gonna marry Miles and Ashley, but then they start talking too much and basically tell him, oh, he doesn't know he's getting married.
Right.
But we know he wants it. And he was like, that sounds like assault. Like,
yeah.
That's the same line they use for assault victims. Like,
he said, "You guys are going to assault him into marrying you." Yeah. He's like, "Did he propose?" Like, no, I'm not doing the marriage.
So then he bails out. So now there's nobody to marry them, and so they're kind of sitting around and waiting. And then Trish finds out that she can be ordained as a minister in like 10 minutes.
In 10 minutes.
So she works on getting ordained. And while
then they get to the part where Tasha keeps asking, everything Tasha's asking for is happening, but it's not really happening. Right. Because she's like, I got something to tell you. And then the room gets all gloomy. And she was like, yeah, back out, wherever the fuck she was at, Peru.
Bali.
In Bali.
The next door neighbor friend.
Yeah, the next door neighbor friend, she was like, yeah, I got married. And who I got married to had a kid. And then she just kind of like skimmed over the story, and that was it. Yeah. It was like
you're like waiting for her to say like something bad happened, and that's why she abruptly came back. But basically what I got from it was that the relationship, she was more in it than he was, and so he wasn't willing to fight for the relationship, so she bailed.
So I got that something happened, but she didn't say what happened. Cause she was like, we were really good. We were like, he's a really good guy. And she was like, at the end, when it counted, she was into it and he wasn't. And then that's where the story stopped. It was like, when what counted? Like, she didn't explain shit.
Yeah. So whatever she was saying, pretty much, because Ashley was kind of just like throwing in the towel, basically. Like, it's not going to happen. So Janelle tells her all this. And then after that conversation, everything just starts happening for the good. So Trish gets ordained, but also, so before she was having issues going through the metal detector. So it was this whole big to do, like her going back and forth. She keeps going off and it's like, don't know why. And finally they start doing the wand over her face and realize it's her grill. So she can't get her grill out. So that was another thing that was happening that was making everything an issue. So she finally gets her grill out. The mom shows up with her passport, and Trish is also ordained. So they make it through to get married, and what's his name, Miles, ends up proposing, so he actually gets to do the proposal. They kiss on the glass, and they're
she said I proposed to you to propose to me. And he was like, I do what I'm told. So then he did the proposal, and then they got married through the glass. But while all this is happening, Earl started his job, and every scene he was in through the show gave me anxiety. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with him. Like, because he's like, they did a whole fucking dance scene when he first got to the job, and I was like, I don't know why they're doing this. It was long.
Yeah, but so that dance scene didn't bother me too much. It was still kind of like, but I took it as like they're taking away his anxiety, because the first thing they do is they put their hands on his chest, and it's like,
and they pump his chest,
but then I was like, okay, you can be done with it, but
it was just long. Like I said, the dance scenes just be too long. So but then he calls the fucking, and then this episode made me understand, because I know that I thought the fucking the parole officer was just like a goofy dude, but it's letting me understand he don't give a fuck about him. So when he's calling him, he's like, he's telling him, he's like, I'm at work. He's like, so they said I get off at, what he said, I'll be home by 7. He's like, I get off at 6, I'll be home by 7. And the dude was like, well, I got something to do, but just call me if anything happens, but you should be good. And of course, something happens.
7.
Yeah.
So
he was like, just be home at 7. So and of course, the boat he's on, like, oh, we got to go do something else first before we go back. And he's tripping like, shit, I got to be home by 7. And of course, the guy's not answering the phone. So now he's rushing, and his mailbox is full because he keeps leaving voicemails. But then, like, you see him, he finally makes it home and he kind of steps over. I guess it turns green once he crosses to the driveway.
I think so. That's what I was getting from that. Yeah. And it wasn't
right. And it wasn't changing. So, and then like they do the slow motion. That dude was selling these fucking scenes, but they did the slow motion. He plugs it up and he looks down and it's still not green. So he's trying not to cry, but he's like crying, and he starts like punching his leg. And then this is what fucked me up, because he started writing a note. I was telling Katrina, I was like, oh, he's going to kill himself.
I thought so too. I thought it was a suicide note.
I thought it was a suicide note, because the whole time it's like what I was getting from him being on the boat, he's like free. He's like dancing and shit, but then he gets to where I think it's Alcatraz. Am I wrong?
That's what I thought it was too, but I didn't know, because I don't know where the Port of Oakland, like, the boats go.
It could have been. I'm thinking it's Alcatraz because it looks hella old.
And the way he was looking at it was almost like, I'm never going back to prison.
Right. It was a prison for sure, but I just couldn't tell it was Alcatraz. But the way he looked, like, I'm never going back there. Like, he had this look like, I don't give a fuck, I'm never going back there. And I think he even said it before, like, I'm never going back there. So when he's sitting in the living room, he grabs a notepad and he starts writing, and the lights go off. And then he kind of looks at the camera, and then he starts writing again. I was like, oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
So from there, they jump to the wedding thing. And then when they come back, he's standing in the middle of the street with the suit. And this was the only dance routine I thought was necessary and was fucking incredible. So he's rapping, and the whole time he's rapping, they're pulling his they're dancing, but they're pulling his fucking what the fuck is that, extension cord?
Extension cord, because he's got it wrapped around his body and it's plugged in.
Yeah. So they're pulling it to the cop car the whole time he's rapping. He's just rapping about like how black men have to go through this and about life and shit. And then I forgot what was the last lines he said before he got in the car. Because he was like, nobody's even here. What was he saying?
There's nobody to say goodbye to, or to say goodbye to me, or something like that.
Yeah.
There's nobody here to say goodbye to me, or something.
That can't be the line, because the way he kept saying it, and then when he said it the last time, he switched it to where it was like he was saying it to himself. It was, I wish I could remember the line.
But
that whole shit was crazy.
Was powerful. That's what I wrote to it. Because it was like they're pulling him back to the prison, and he's like fighting away from it. But it looks like he took off. So now he's, whatever you call it.
That's so. I don't know about that either. I don't know if he left or if he really got arrested.
Yeah, I think he left. I think he's a fugitive now. I don't know how that works when you're on parole or probation. Are you a fugitive if you flee?
Pretty much.
So
they're sending Dog the Bounty Hunter after you.
Because he was adamant about not going back. So I think he took off. I really think he took off.
I do too. Because when the cops finally put him in the car, then they're like, the cops are like sideshowing while they're driving away. They're hanging out the car and screaming.
Well, their version of sideshowing, it was like bull riding, like
yeah. Like we got another one, basically.
Yeah, like a lynch, like them.
Yeah. So I think that. I went to his Instagram and told him he was fucking incredible after that scene. That shit was shit was hard.
That was a deep ass scene. And I felt so bad for him because, like you said, he was just like defeated. Once he realized he wasn't going to get back home in time, and he's like trying to get hold of his officer, and he's just like can't get through. And it just goes to show like.
And that's what it got to. Like I said, I thought that because I know the PO from another movie from like being goofy. Mm-hmm. So when I saw him, I thought he was just like a goofy, funny dude. But you see, he just doesn't give a shit about him.
Yeah.
It's like he acts like he cares, but at the same time, he don't really give a fuck. But I thought that was a suicide scene. I was like, fuck, don't do that. Yeah. I was like, don't, because the lights go off, and he kind of looks at the camera like, kind of like, fuck it, I don't give a fuck no more. And then when they show up, they see the extension cords in the middle of the street unplugged. So it's like he's gone. And then what's her name looks at the camera and was like, it's only been 30 days. Like he only been out for 30 fucking days.
Yeah.
And then they just show the credits.
All of this it's only been a month and all of this stuff has happened.
Yeah. And then they show the credits, and then the phone call. So that's why I said I think there's gonna be season 2. Because Miles, he's on the phone talking to what's the guy from the movie?
Colin.
Oh wait, funny scene. If you've seen the movie, so when Trish goes in the jail, she's trying to see Miles. Ashley. She's trying to see Miles for the marriage, and it's a Indian dude named Niles. He's like, my name is Niles Turner. Yeah. He was like, Niles Turner. He was like, you telling me it's a Miles Turner in here? So he's cracking jokes, and then she's like, have you seen him? She's describing him. He was like, wait, he got a friend look like Crazy Bone? He was like, yeah. He was like, you know what? I can't marry you. Like, he just switched it up. He was scared as hell. But if you've seen the movie, he was the one telling the story in the movie of how Miles and beat up the white dude at the bar.
Yeah.
So it was the same dude in the jail. That shit have you dying. He was like, he got a friend look like Crazy Bone?
When he popped up on the screen, I was like, I know his face. He looks familiar.
Yeah.
And then when he was talking about, he was like, he got a friend look like Crazy Bone?
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, the movie.
Yeah.
So I liked that part too. That part was funny.
That shit was funny. but it ends on a phone call, and they kind of just talking shit, but it's more like come visit, come see how everybody's doing or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's going to be a season 2.
Yeah, and I'm wondering based on the conversation, because Colin was like something about I'll talk to you, but I'll tell you more about it when I see you, or something along those lines. I was like, I wonder if season 2 will be centered around Colin and where he was when all this stuff was happening.
Because he was like, I got something to tell you too, but I'll tell you next time.
Yeah, so I think that'll be for season 2. So, but yeah, overall, show was all right.
I'm gonna still watch it.
This one or the next one?
The season 2.
Season 2, yeah. But for this one, what would you say about it overall? I thought it was just all right.
I think without Earl, I probably would have tapped out.
Is Earl the
house arrest guy?
Yeah. Yeah. If they would say, "Hey, we're doing a spinoff of him," I would definitely see the show. Because I think, like I said, I think he had the more interesting show of what's going on, like what's happened to him or what's going to happen to them. Like after hearing you guys say about that, I might check out the episode because it's about what he had to do.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would say episode 8. Like if you wanted to see how it closes out, you don't have to watch 7. You could just watch 8 and just see all that, because Earl's scenes are very like heart-wrenching. Like, you know, like Lamar said, he had anxiety. You know something's gonna go bad because you see him making sure, like, I'm good, right? Like, I'm gonna this time, but just in case, I'm good, right? And you're like, okay, it's not gonna go well for him.
Yeah. Well, if I like the character like Earl, I'll have anxiety. If I care about the character a lot and I want him to succeed, I'm gonna be like, fuck. Even if it's a show, I still like, if I like characters, then that's what makes me care about them. So yeah, I would say Earl. Yeah, Earl's my favorite character. Yeah, on the show.
Honestly, I care about every character on the show except for the sister. Like she's the only one that kind of annoys me. Her storyline, but it's like I care about them, but they're not going any. Earl's story went somewhere.
Yeah.
Theirs was kind of the same from episode 1 to now. All of their stories is the same shit. Like that, nothing really progressed, like at all. Like you got the sister waited 8 episodes to say that, and she summed it up. Summed it up in 2 minutes. Like that was it.
And still probably didn't say everything.
It didn't say shit. All she said was, "I was married, had a daughter. I was a stepmom for 2 years. Ooh, ain't she cute?" And then it was just like, "Can you tell us what happened?"
Clown you because his name was Mustafa.
Yeah, because his name was Mustafa.
He cute though.
So him and that one girl, what's his name? Earl and that one girl don't hook up, even though it seemed like they were about to.
There was a moment in episode 7 where they were kind of dancing with each other, and in the beginning, or no, it was episode 6. In the beginning, she was like, "Remind me to do this later," blah blah blah. And at the end, she's walking by and kind of grabs her, and she kind of looks at him like she's like, "Oh my god," like heart palpitations, like she's in love. So you got to kind of get those kinds of things. And at the end, when they realize he's gone, she's very distraught about it. So,
and at the end, Miles tells Colin on the phone, he was like, "Yeah, your sister liked the dude that lived there." He was like, "She came back. I don't know what the fuck she came back for, but she kind of got a crush on the dude that live in your house." Like he was just like summing it up.
Yeah.
But it's like they're setting it up for a season 2.
Yeah.
So hopefully in season 2 you get more story. Hopefully.
I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be Colin centered, and then
I don't think so, because Colin's supposed to be on the run.
Yeah, so maybe we'll see what he's been doing.
But I think that'll piss people off.
It's a possible like potential, like, you know, what if they did a season of like Colin, you know, on the run, or Miles in his time in jail? I mean, there are certain things you could do if like, instead of like what American Horror Story does, get different characters, just have a different story, focus on a different character.
Or what if they jump ahead 5 years and they have both of them in the show and you get flashbacks?
That will work better than trying to make a different storyline right now, because this whole season was just setting up every character in the season. This whole season was just that.
Got off for good behavior.
Has anybody checked the ratings of the show?
No,
because it seems like every time we talk about a show, they don't come back for a second season. Lovecraft Country.
Right.
Well, it is the truth. No, okay, so Lovecraft Country had great ratings, but it didn't come back because of what they were going to talk about. They was like, "Fuck no, you're not doing that shit here."
Oh yeah,
but it had great ratings.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
We do it every time.
No, I'm not watching that. No. And then the other show that was on Amazon, what was it called again?
That one too.
Utopia.
Utopia, yeah.
Utopia. Yeah. So we got to be careful, you know.
We got to start reviewing these shits.
Yeah.
Somebody go see us review that show like, fuck.
If this gets canceled,
we need to stop doing the show. We're jinxing them.
If this gets canceled, we have to issue an apology to Diggs and Rafael Casal. Like,
I'm telling you,
we're jinxed.
Somebody's gonna make a show and they're gonna see us reviewing it like episode 1. They're gonna be like, fuck.
Cancel them motherfuckers. Cancel them.
Fuck. Stop now.
They're gonna send us a cease and desist. Like, we don't want you guys to watch it.
Yeah. Like, I've seen all the other shows you reviewed and they got canceled after the first season. So
that's fucking ridiculous. But overall, like I said, I don't know, something about it I still like. It's something about it I still like. Like, I don't feel this. I'm disappointed in the storyline for sure, but I still like the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You ever have like, well, this is how I felt about Walking Dead, but then I gave up. How you like the show has potential. You can see a show has potential. They just don't grow up to the fullest.
Yeah.
So I do believe there's potential there, but it seems maybe, I don't know, maybe this was like, all right, let's see what's up. Let's see how the show does. And then maybe next season we'll get a better story going. You know what I mean?
I think honestly, if they do have a season 2, it will be a better story. Now I'm kind of feeling like this whole season was just to set up every character, because in the last episode, well, the second to last episode, the sister finally gets her deal for whatever shit she's doing, and then the girl opens up about her marriage, but you don't hear nothing else about it, and then dude's going back to jail. It's like everything's set up.
Sean,
what you call it, Miles?
That is.
Yeah, Miles is going to fucking San Quentin, so it's like everything is set up for season 2. So I think maybe there won't be as much dancing. I'm not gonna say there's gonna be no dancing. It might not be as much, but I think the story will just start developing. That's my only problem.
I noticed that Ashley wasn't doing poetry towards the end too. Like on episode 6, it starts off with her. It looks like she's doing poetry, but she's actually practicing how to tell Sean. So her boss is standing there, and he's like,
what the fuck are you talking about?
You're thinking she's doing the poetry, but she's actually practicing telling.
Yeah.
So and then on the last episode where she's sitting there with Janelle and she's talking, it looks like she's doing poetry, but she's actually talking to Janelle. And then
I thought it was.
So I like how they did that, where it wasn't like just stop and do poetry, but it was like she's talking and it makes it seem like she's doing it, but she's actually having a conversation. I liked that aspect of it.
I'll take the poetry over the extra long dance scenes, though. The dance scenes I think are cool, but they're just so long. Like it seems like it just drags on at a point, because, like I said, they're doing the same dance moves. There's not a lot of difference. They're doing the same dance moves except for that final scene. That's when it's different. That's when it's different.
You could say that about some of the scenes too, though. So like the whole scene with Teddy and the girl he's flirting with at the bowling alley. That was too long.
Yeah.
That whole conversation and the flirting and all that was just way too long. So there were some scenes that was like, you could have kind of cut that.
Yeah. It was like a lot of times it drags on too long. But it's like, okay, we got it. Like, move on.
But they want to show like the lingo, like the Bay Area lingo and stuff like that. So.
And I appreciate it in some scenes, and some scenes is like, okay.
Yeah. Even like the scene where they're in the car and they're listening to Richie Rich. Like, I felt like that was a little too long. Like, and if you know the song, you know the song.
No, like, because I was watching it at my house on my device, and then Sam's like, okay, you gonna watch it? Okay, I'm good. As soon as that song comes on, he comes in like, oh, this small shit. I was like,
But like I said, I think a lot of that is not for us. I think they're doing that for everybody else.
I don't know.
Right. That don't know. So it's like with those, I kind of forgive it because I know what it's for. Like I get what they're doing it for.
Yeah.
But it's just the dancing. Like I said, The dancing, when people are dancing, I pay too close attention. So when the braids guy's dancing, he's doing the exact. You can go through every episode. He's doing the exact same fucking thing. And then the blonde hair guy is gonna do the ball shit. The exact same fucking thing. They're gonna do the same thing. Like either get somebody else to dance or switch it up. Like you can't keep doing the same thing.
It's kind of repetitive.
It is repetitive.
It's repetitive.
But like I said, maybe because I'm paying too close attention. I'm looking too hard. Maybe. But it just goes on for so long. To where it becomes unnecessary. It's like, oh, we get it now. We get it.
Well, that's on my notes. We covered everything from the show. So Lamar's willing to watch season 2. Josh didn't finish season 1.
I mean, like I said, if it takes forever, like if I'm not that invested in something and it's taking forever, I'm gonna have to, give up. Imagine trying to watch The Mandalorian. You don't want to watch that fucking show.
Oh, I tried.
Recommended.
I tried 3/4 of an episode.
You didn't have no problems. I got it.
3/4 of an episode. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, it's definitely like not a season that I'm like, oh, I'm hella like looking forward to. Like, if I don't know, because we had Starz here, but for some reason it's not playing Starz on what's called the Apple device. So I don't know what happened there. Maybe I accidentally did a free trial. I don't know. But, like 1 minute it's working, the next minute it's not. It's definitely not something I would get Starz just for that show. Like if if somebody say, hey, come over, Josh, and watch it, I would do that. But it's something I'm not really too invested for. I'm kind of like,
right?
Yeah.
I think if anything for season 2, I'll probably wait till it's all released and then just watch it all at once. Because like I said, I found myself enjoying it more when I was able to just like knock them out in one sitting.
That's what you do with all the other shows, right? Like,
well, it depends. Like, I think there's certain kinds of shows that the week to week thing works for me because that anticipation of waiting. So like Mayor of Easttown, I watched it week to week, and every episode ended with me wanting
those cliffhangers.
Next episode, yeah. So I think there's certain shows that it works for. Granted, like Insecure, I would kind of compare that to this kind of show. Is this the comedy, a little bit of drama. I can't wait for each week episode with that show. So I think it's just the show itself.
Yeah. Well, that's how it was with Better Call Saul. Like that was a show that I wanted. Like I couldn't find it anywhere to watch it, so I had to rent it from like certain things. Like there's certain shows I'm like, I just want to rent this episode for about like $2. That's how much I like Better Call Saul. And I forgot what other was, but like that or Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones. That's something I could, I could watch. I can wait for the next. Talking about seasons 1 through 7. Not the last bullshit, but the last season, I could give a fuck about like when the next episode was coming out.
Yeah.
But when, like season 5, I was still like, oh shit, I can't wait for the next one.
When they care.
They left you, yeah. It's like they left you on a cliffhanger that you didn't feel like, oh fuck, now I gotta watch it because I want to know what happens. Fuck, right. I got checked. I was excited about what's happening next. Not like
Breaking Bad was like great for that. Every fucking Breaking Bad and the motorcycle fucking
Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy. Both of those would do those cliffhangers on every fucking episode. To where I was like, I have to watch this shit.
Well, so closing out Blindspotting. This is the final episode, or our final episode of
Final 3. Oh, Josh, there is a flash scene. The lady, I didn't think she was really gonna do it.
Wait, what?
The mom.
The mom.
Helen.
Because she had a whole conversation with the uncle, and she was like, "Yeah, we used to protest, and I flashed the police to get them off of us." So in the jail cell, when Miles put like they're trying to get married, so she's trying to like that because the security guard's like, "Time's up, get out of here." So she turns around, she goes like this. I thought they were gonna cut the scene, but she was like, "Look." I was like, "What?"
You actually got to see it.
Yes.
Wow, Helen Hunt.
Yes.
Like,
what the fuck?
They're like rushing and trying to get this done and everything, and the cops are yelling, and Trish is trying to make him. So the mom decides to distract the security guard by flashing. It's just like chaos. There's so much stuff going on, but yeah. So blind spotting.
I like it.
I'm in between. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it.
I'm a little bit lower than Tasha, but like it was cool.
You're more towards hated.
I would not hate is just a strong word. I don't think I hate it. I definitely, like I said, there's potential there. It seemed to go on like I don't know if they didn't know exactly where they wanted to go. It's just like you said, Lamar, the story just didn't seem to be going anywhere.
It seems like it seemed like they had a really good idea and they were just trying to figure out how to execute it. Yeah. And then towards the end, they were like, you know what? Let's just set everything up for season 2. That's what I think happened.
We usually do 5 stars for like movies. Let's do like out of 10 for this show. Like, what would you give it out of 10?
Me, I probably give it like a 6 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of high. So let me boost mine up there because I was gonna say it's 6. I give it like a half. So I give it like an 8. Okay. I'll give it an 8 because I was still entertained. Mm-hmm. So like I said, I like every character. The sister still kind of annoys me, but I think it's because she reminds me of people in real life that annoy me. So I think that's why I'm annoyed with her. But every character, it's like I like the setup. I have a favorite character, but every character I like the setup about them. Mm-hmm. Like I said, overall I liked it. I give it an 8 because Josh says 6, so I give it an 8.
Well, to me, 6 was always.
You come down on your rating because
I mean, what were you gonna give it before that?
I was gonna say like a 7, only because of the storyline.
What was that again?
I said 6.5. That's what I was gonna say before you said 6. I thought you were gonna say like 4, Josh.
That's what I thought he was gonna say.
Nah. Like,
that's actually not too bad.
Like to me, what was it called? Them? That's a fucking 0.
That's a 2.
6 doesn't get a rating.
No,
I mean, them doesn't get a rating.
Yeah, like that's a show I fucking despise. Like this one, like I said, I give props to what they're trying to do. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not trying to hit on the work. It's just it was something I just wasn't interested or into. You know, since I wasn't raised in Oakland, that's the thing. Yeah, like maybe
you're not black.
Yeah, I'm not black too. Yeah,
you're not a black town boy, so you can't connect.
I came up with a thing to say, but it'd be fucked up if I say like, well, reason why I'm not black. I'm not gonna say it, but like, if I would joke to somebody, reason why I'm not black, that they would be pissed off. So maybe they should stop saying.
On that note, that's the end of this episode.
Yeah, but I still recommend people if you like some type of like I said, it's pretty. I hate to say the word artsy, but like in some parts it is artsy.
No, it's very artsy.
Doing its own thing, so I can't hate on it for doing that. But that doesn't mean like I'm gonna love it just because they're doing it. I respect it.
I love the artsy. Like if you know me, I love the dancing. I love poetry. I love rap. I love all of that. Like I love the art, but don't drag it like this. Don't give me the dance, but cut it. Like it doesn't need to be. It's you can quickly get that point across. We got it. Don't stretch it into like a whole 3 minutes. We don't need that much. Yeah. Then it becomes like, what are we doing this for? Because at the end of it, what do we do all of that for?
Yeah.
For the art.
Yeah, but goddamn, put the paintbrush down. Like even when they're dancing with Earl before he starts the job, it's like they do the heart bump thing, and then he kind of smiles and he dances with them, and then you get a bunch of this. And then we do this. We throw the ball to the fucking dread guy, and he's like this. Let me go lower, and I'm gonna tick, 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 and I'm gonna go lower and do some more waves. Then we're gonna come back up. Then we're gonna pump his chest again, and then we're gonna give it back to the ball guy. He's gonna do this again. And then he's gonna pass it to him, and then he's gonna do the thing again. It's like it just stretched out so long. Like I'd appreciate it if it happened. Okay, remember when they were in the hotel? And I said it didn't bother me because they would do like a little dance and then it would just go back to reality.
Yeah, like they were part of the reality, but broke for a dance. And
yes,
they were doing
yes, and or make it powerful like you did with Earl's dance at the end. Mm-hmm. All the power was in that scene because he's rapping and their dancing is not overtaking his rapping, so they're dancing and he's rapping real shit that's going on. So it became a powerful thing. Then it was necessary. Mm-hmm. But this one, it was like a lot of the dancing was just like, we could have wrapped this up with 6 moves.
2 8 counts.
Yeah, 1 and 2 and 3 and break.
Okay. All right. So we're done with that